Everyone. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this podcast. My name is Rana Benson. I'm from Kenya, and I will be talking about personal branding. Yeah, so I hope this will be one of an insightful presentation, and um, so we will be talking about personal branding. So, what is personal branding? Yeah, so before I just forget to introduce myself. So I'm a founder of Rana Initiative, which basically deal with when it comes to SDG, we deal with the, goal number 3, that is health and well-being. We also tackle environment and also partnership. So we intend to tackle well on goal number 3, that is of well-being, whereby we we used to design some stickers to give people who are affected by who are affected by mental health diseases. So what we do, we design stickers with mental health um, message, and then we give them as a way of motivating them. So that is what we do. I'm also a SDG champion, and I'm also a member of several clubs. And yeah, so that is me. So let me say once again, welcome to this podcast. So for those who are viewing us, we welcome you so much. So I'll be talking about personal branding. So what is personal branding? From the word personal, yeah, it is from you yourself. And then now branding, it's a way of marketing yourself, making yourself available. So we will be tackling more of we will get to know more about personal branding. Why are you supposed to have one? And yeah, so as a leader, you are supposed to have a personal. You have to have a personal story, that is a brand story and the brand statement. So we will start by defining what is a personal branding. So personal branding, it is the process of creating a brand identity, a personal, whereby you combine um yeah, so um identity of a person or a company. So as the name suggests, it is a brand for you or your business. So a personal branding is a unique way of combining your skills and the experiences. So as a personality that you want, so you combine, you will be coming up with a unique way of combining your skills, your experiences at a personality. Yeah, so that is how personal branding is. It's a way of combining the skills and also the experiences. So there are skills and experiences. And so you promote yourself through combining those skills. And then now and then a personality, that is where you want the world to see you through how you promote yourself, how you combine the skills and the experiences. So it's also tell your story and how it reflects to your conduct, behavior, and also the spoken and unspoken word at any event you find yourself. So so the way you give out your story, it give, and also the behaviors, it is still a branding of you. So if you, the way you spoke and the way you conduct yourself, it is a personal branding. Yeah, so that is what a personal branding is. So we will also see why a personal branding is important. So you can just go to another slide. Yeah, so why is it important to have the personal branding? First, it helps you to stand out from everybody else. We talked about you coming with in a unique way. So it differentiates you from other people else. So when you give out your story, after you combine the skill and the experience, it will stand out. So even we have also talked about the spoken and unspoken. So you know, you you'll be the one to own yourself, so you will stand out from everybody else. So the other thing is to build contact. When we talked about contact, the way you sell yourself, the way you brand, the way you market yourself, you know, connect with you people around you. So it will be contact to people who are around you. It's also develop trustworthiness. So you know, the way you stand out to be a unique person, you develop a trust to those who are around you, and also the worthiness, what you are supposed, your worthiness. So when it is unique, it is worthy for you, it is yours. So the other thing, it markets you and indicate a good reputation. So the way you introduce yourself, the way um, you market yourself, it indicate a good reputation from you. So it requires you to have both your skills and your experiences so that you market yourself and become a different, or you become unique from other. Then how you stand. And then the other thing is to attain confidence. Yeah, so when now we talked about being confident, I remember a day when we were somewhere with my friends. So we were supposed to, you know, to market or to give out our brand statement or our brand story. So you will find that those who have who developed their story, you know, through compiling their skills and their experiences, it gives them confidence. When you talk about yourself, the audacity, I mean being yourself, it will give you confidence. It will not take you time to explain more about yourself, because you have that brand story, you have a story about you, so you attain confidence. Yeah, so those are points why you are supposed to, you know, to have a personal branding to help you stand out from other by making you unique. You know, we talked about the you being unique, and then now up to, you know, attaining now confidence. Yeah, so let's go to another slide. So now we also talk about creating your personal branding. So the thing which we are supposed to, as a person who want to come up with a brand, personal brand, their brand identity that you are supposed to have. And as let's just mention about them. There is a vision. You have to be someone who have a vision, and then um, we have also authenticity. It's the act of being yourself, and also we have the personality. You know, when you narrate your story, it is also good to showcase your personality. Who are you? when we talk about personal branding, the way you marry what you are talking about and the way you are, that is now the personality in you, the physical. It has to be, you know, to reveal one thing. I mean, your personality and what you talk has to rhyme. There has to be one. There has to marry, so that your personal branding will be complete. The other thing is commitment. You have to be someone who is committed. And then we also have value. You have to be someone who have a value. And then the last one, which is very important, is uh, differentiation. Every brand has to be unique for every person. So for yours, it has to be different from other people. That is the only way that you'll be unique. Because, for instance, when you are somewhere else and you are with many people, so the only way that will that is going to stand out is how your personal branding is going to be unique from other. So it has to be different. So that those are the brand identity that, as a person creating your personal branding, you should observe that it has to be different. So and the only way to be different is to make sure that you combine your skills and your experiences, so that it will emerge to be unique from other. So make sure it is different from other. Make sure it is authenticity. You own it. It is yours. And then you also have to show commitment, and then the personality, and also the vision that will drive you. Make sure you have the vision and also the value. So these are the things you should play around when you are coming with your personal branding. Remember to have a vision. Remember to own your personal branding, authenticity. Remember to make sure that it is a brand that is of personality, your own personality. Then show the commitment, have value, and then also it has to be different. So make sure it cover off all those themes. Um, so we will also look on self-image and self-esteem. So personal branding, it's more of you, it's more of yourself. So that is the image you have to create in and out of you for your personal branding to look like you always. So there is an image you should impress. There is an image you should showcase for your personal branding to be complete. So self-image, there must be a mental picture of how you view yourself. That is both physically and as an individual. So there is that mental picture of you. Mental picture is how you see yourself, how you value, how you see yourself, you view yourself. And then now there is a physical part as an individual. We will talk about when we talk about physically is that personality, how you are as an individual. How as an individual you should, how you view yourself. So as a self-image, there is that mental picture of you, of how you view, the way you view yourself, both physically and also as an individual. Yeah, so there are things you should um, look on into. when it comes to self-image and self-esteem. Um, First of all, for you to brand you, that is you. That is your image, your vision, your mission, your value, and your vision. So you should brand you yourself, your image, your vision, your value, and your mission. So there are things you should look into. That is, you have to challenge your negative notions. Always avoid internal criticisms. Criticisms are always a confirmation of things you have already done, because what people um, play when they are talking about criticism, they always play what you've already done. So the other thing is, always remember to start small. When you are creating your personal branding, it is always good to start, to remember that you have to start in a low, as you raise or as you go to every level. So make sure you cannot just pull yourself and start at a high level. You should start from scratch, start from small. The other thing is, identify positive things about yourself and positive self-talk. A very important note is about self-talk. Yeah, make sure you have a self-talk. Create your self-talk that is positive. And then make sure also you identify the things, the positive things about yourself. And the only way you will achieve this is coming up with a self-talk. So it is very important to have a self-talk, and make sure that you always play around the positive side, not the negative. So also build a positive relationship. This one matters a lot, because um, the criticisms that we have just talked about, you should avoid. Also, these points also talked about it. Positive relationship, people around you. So make sure you play, or you build a good environment. Make sure people who are around you are people who need you to succeed, who always remind you of good things. Yeah, so make sure you have good people around you who are always have positive ideas, positive um, behaviors. And the other thing is, improve your physical health. This is the personality. You know, you can be someone who will speak, the way you market yourself through the way you maybe you spoke is different from your physical health. People sometimes judge you. You can be somewhere else talking about yourself, but the way you appear physically does not match with what we are talking about. So sometimes you have to improve your physical health by make sure that they are always one on one with what you intend to speak about. Then the other thing is, make sure you dress in clothes that make you feel comfortable. Sometimes you're in a place, and you are talking about yourself, and you are narrating your story, the brand story of yourself. So we have talked about physical parts. So it will now bring a way in which you will not be able. There are things you will omit, because when you want to speak about, you're a person who always in always dress well, but in that occasion you are not in good clothes. Yeah, so that one feel make you feel uncomfortable. So the best thing is, what you speak about yourself, make sure you even dress is how you want to, to speak about yourself. So let everything be you. Personal branding is you. So if you want now people to see you as the person who is speaking to them, let's also your physical appearance speak to you. We have talked about spoken and unspoken. Unspoken is now the physical. You can be somewhere else and you are not even you. There is no time, or you know no allocated time for you to to speak about yourself. So the way you carry, the way you dress can also speak about your brand. So make sure that you also represent your brand through you know dress code, so that if maybe by any chance you will be in somewhere else, and someone is just speaking, people through how they have dressed themselves. So you will find yourself in a in a great way, or in a way, in an environment to express or to showcase your brand story. Then the other thing is of avoid comparison. We have talked about the brand story, the brand personal branding, a brand story, brand statement, that it has to be different. So when now you create that, you know, a certain way of uh, coming up with a way to compare. So you maybe come across a certain brand story of someone else, and you want to fix yours to be the same as um, the person you just come across his or her brand story. So it will become difficult for you, you know to own yourself. So the best thing is, make sure you are unique, you own yourself, you own your brand story, but never come up with a way of start comparing. So the best thing is, make sure is every brand story is always different. That is the first thing you have to make a note of it. So never come up with a way of uh, comparing brand story. Yeah, next. And then now, how to create influence both online and offline. So marketing yourself or giving out your brand story is one way of convincing you, the one way you convince people, you know, or you influence. So that is a way you are supposed to make sure that the way those who are can able to find themselves using internet are also, and yeah, I'm talking about those who are offline and those who are online. Those who are online are people who can be able to access internet, and then now we have the group of people who will not be able to access internet. So you should find ways to make sure that you also reach to those people who are not able to access the internet. So the ways you can create so that you influence both of them is know who you are. We have talked about authenticity. Make sure you know yourself through identifying your areas. And we have talked about, you always, when you are coming with a personal branding, always rely with positive about yourself. So first of all, you have to know who you are, what you do, what are your visions, what are your commitments, what are your skills, what are your experiences, so that you can be able to to influence both people, I mean those who are not online and those who can access. Yeah, then the other thing is, know your niche and target. Know the people you want to target. Have the target group and make sure you come up with ways of influencing them. Yeah, because maybe you will be in different occasions. So the best way you will make sure you do, or so that we influence both of them, is to know the people you are targeting. In some instance, or in some ways, maybe you want to influence people who are online, or people who can access internet. So there are strategy, there are ways, there are mechanisms which you can use for those who are internet. You can use your social media handles to make sure that you have market yourself through online. Then for those who are offline, there are also ways which you can make sure also that you have a way to reach them. Then the other thing is embrace networking. You know, always embrace networking. And the only way you can impress is to have a lot of connection, have as people who you will connect, maybe through internet, or even those who will not be available on internet. So it's good to create an environment of you networking, you connecting with people. The other thing is, and it's so great for you to have um accounts, handles accounts like LinkedIn are very great for networking. And we also have all of those like Twitter. So make sure you embrace networking. Then grow your online presence. Make sure you engage yourself. You post, you write about your story in all your accounts, and that is a way of growing online. And then also practicing what you preach. You coming up with your brand story, it is something which you should practice. Always make sure you practice before you come maybe to present. Make sure you practice. Always have it in hand. Always make sure you memorize about your brand story. Then the other thing is feedback. Feedback are always best because it will enable you to fix areas which were not perfectly done. So make sure in your accounts handles, or uh, when you go to an outreach for those who are offline, make sure you at least get to have feedback from them, so that you will find a way or areas which you have really not done well. And feedback will always help you to fix. And then the other thing is embrace your imperfection. Make sure you are perfect. to anything you do. And then the other thing is live your brand everyday life. Live your brand everyday life. Make sure you, when people see you, they see you. When people see you, they see your brand. And never try to change your brand. And the only thing that will enable you not to change is, make sure that you always, you will never done, or you never come to a conclusion of, making comparison from your brand and other people. So make sure you want at everyday life, make sure you live your brand every day. So next. Yeah, so we will also have to look on how to evaluate personal or professional image. Yeah, so there is a way you should present yourself in a professional way. We talked about you starting in a small way. So then as you grow, you should also try to make yourself professional. We have LinkedIn where things that are professional. So the best thing is take a self inventory, invent yourself. You know, have be someone who always needs a new thing, and you know, and yeah, be someone who always do great thing, and always ready for new challenge and new thing. Yeah. Then the other thing we have talked about feedback. We have talked about feedback whereby you should also let people give you feedback to what you talked about, or you know how people, feedback help you to, we have talked about, help you to fix. So it is good because it will enable you to find areas that you have not done well. So the other thing is define your goals and objective. So make sure your skills and experiences are always in your brand story. Make sure you have a goal, you have a vision, and let your objective reveal in your brand story. So it is so much good to defining everything that you want, everything that you have. Define your goal, define your objective. Yeah, so it is so much important to, to define yourself through, um realizing the goal and objective, and make sure you define in that capacity maybe you want it to be. Yeah, so it is very important to have all those points when you want to evaluate your personal, or if when you want to present yourself in a professional image. The other one, the other slide. uh so ways to manage self-image, these are simple. We have talked about you know the way you are supposed to hold yourself, or to put yourself in front of congregation. So these are tips which you should support, you should always have in order to manage, always to, to have that self-image. So the best, the one is, be nice always to yourself. And the other thing is always, we have talked about positive. Brand stories is all about positive. So make sure you always talked about positive. You have the positive mirror talk. Never talk about the negative. Always have that positive. Then focus on what can be changed and coped with what cannot be changed. So in every day, in daily routine, always focus on what can be changed and find ways to always find ways of making yourself to be in that sides of things that can be changed. You can be somewhere else and you just receive a feedback from a person who or maybe wish that if you can change something in your brand story, never admit uh, you know things like this is difficult, I cannot. So always focus on what you can change. What you cannot change, then it become what you cannot change. Because remember, this is something that you own. It is you yourself. So it is you who have the authority to change, who have the authority, you know, to make yourself what you want to be. The other thing is celebrate the small milestone you achieve. We have talked about you starting in a small way. So the more you grow, always celebrate yourself. And I can, you know, it is good. I can tell someone at any effort, at anything you achieve, always post in your social account. That is a way of celebrating yourself, and it will also give people who are always following you to see the way you are growing. So make sure you celebrate even small milestone you achieve. Then spend time with people who support you. We have talked about creating a good environment for those, and we also talked about creating positive relationship. So make sure those people who want you to be someone, people who support you in your daily work, make sure you always spend time with them. Then so we also have importance of personal vision, important vision. Hello. I remember when we are talking about brand identity, we talk about vision, we talk about authenticity, we talked about commitment, we talked about value, and we talk about vision. So their identity, that they are shown in your brand story. So one is vision, and the vision defines who you want to be and what you want to be known for. So vision is your brand, because when you talk of what you want to be and what you want people, having of what you want to do, it's always a mirror of what you want to be known for. So if you have already what you want to be, it has already mirror what you want people to know you for. So our vision defines that you should always have that vision of what you want to be, because if you want to be that, if you want to be someone, it always mirror, it always reflect of what you also want to be known for. So it gives a sense of direction and purpose. A vision, having a vision give you a direction of, it create that, it create a path and of, where you want to go. A person who have a vision already know where to go, so it brings that direction And when you have a direction, of course, you have the purpose. So you having the direction, you already have the purpose of why you are going through that direction. So vision give that sense of you having the purpose and identify the path of you know, getting yourself to that, to be in that purpose where you want to be. So the other thing is give clarity. So it bring a clear picture of who you are and what you want to be. Yeah, so it give clarity of what you want and what you want to be. And it also give people to identify the direction you are going. Yeah, so the other one is which is the last, it's about the techniques to build your personal. So remember we have talked about the brand story. We have talked about the identity which you should uh, um, you know put note in order for you to create your personal branding. We have also talked about self-image, how how to create influence through offline and online users. So I need now has to get to go and have a look on the techniques on how you can build your personal branding. Uh, the first point talked about you not forgetting the offline world. So you should come up with ways of reaching those who cannot, or those who will not be able to access internet, and also make sure that the way you present yourself to those who can able to access internet is the way you express yourself to those who are offline. So this give us to talk about your physical appearance, personality. So when you come maybe to talk to people, you do an outreach where you come to preach about your personal branding. So you should make sure that you cover your skills, your experience. So make sure you always find a way also to reach those who cannot access internet. Then the other thing is be yourself. We are really talking about you being yourself. Their authenticity. You should be someone who is really trying to convince people that you are the person. There is no any other person, but it is you. So make sure you become yourself. That is why every we have talked about that. Every you cannot do comparison when it comes to brand story. So the way you can market yourself is to become yourself. Make sure you become yourself. And then the other one is your action need to match your personal branding. So you actually need to match your personal branding. So we have talked about the physical mentality and also the individual, personal individual. So this is where now as a person you have to make sure that what you do is always match your brand story. You can write your brand story, but sometimes people just maybe someone need you to do something in an action way, you know, as a way of marketing yourself. or as a way of talking about your brand story. So make sure what you do is always match with your personal brand. The way you behave, the way you dress, and the way you talk, it always match with your personal branding. And then the other thing is make your brand encompass all your public life. You know, they're private and also public. So sometimes when you are out in the public, out to the people, make sure you cover all the compass. Um, every path you pass is always you. Everywhere you go is always you. Yeah, not that you can go somewhere else and when you come back, or you change your brand. It is always good to ensure that your brand encompass all your public life, be it in can be in church, can be in school, or anywhere else. So make sure always you remain to be yourself. Yeah. So and when it comes to action, yeah, and of you need to match your personal branding. Sometimes when now let me talk about this movement. When now people see you, they know the organization is there is something that will happen. When they see you, they know about the conscientization movement. So when you do something, they know the organization has done. So that is what I'm trying to to illustrate that. Make sure your action always match with your personal branding. Yeah. So and then let me finish by giving out my personal branding. Yeah. So my name is Rana, and I'm a IT consultant and counseling psychology. I always believe that human beings are not of the same and are not always of one in of one dimension, and we cannot be categorized into one box. And I always believe also that people are more than sorry let me yeah. So I always believe that people are not more than one dimension, and they can never be categorized into one box. So I always sorry, my network is not really let me fix my network. Yeah. So that is what I believe. And then also so as a psychology as a
Okay, thank you so much, everyone, for joining tonight's session on personal branding. We learned about what a personal brand is all about, the importance of a personal vision, ways to manage self-image, and how to evaluate your personal or professional image. And we also learned how ways by which we can all create influence both online and offline. We also learned self-image and self-esteem. Really, we also learned, the real, um, the details, the finer details that go into personal branding. The importance, the values of a personal brand identity. We learned about on the authenticity, personality, commitment, value, and so many values. The vision, and also the vision that you need to carry, and also the importance of differentiation from um, the presentation that we learned from Benson, Rana, through this webcast. We're really grateful to our speaker, Benson. Thank you so much for sharing, Benson. Perhaps you might want to share a few thoughts, concluding reflections for our audience to think about as they go to build their own personal brand, to come up with their own personal brand as they map their own personal branding strategies.
Yeah. Sorry. There was an issue with my network on my side. Yeah. So I remember I was talking about my personal branding and network issues interfere us. I think let me finish what I was talking about, and I was talking about my personal brand. So I was talking about me as a consultant and a psychologist, IT consultant and a psychologist. And I always believe that there is more than one dimension to every human being, and we cannot be categorized into one box. Yeah, so my creativity and my imagination marry with my logic and analytic thinking. A young child growing up, so I ended up craving of my only true reality of being an IT expert and a psychologist. So I wanted the freedom of doing more than one thing, more than one career. So as a psychologist, I discovered that a large number of people are not comfortable with all their facets of their being, and many of them are being affected by the mental health diseases such as stress, which leads to depression. So I intend to use both of my career to reflect a way to help them overcome and embrace themselves wholly and driven in all the space they enter. So this is where I use my creativity of IT skills to design a variety of stickers with mental health content or motivational content such as, yeah, just breathe, um and yeah, so I designed such stickers, and my the goal was to motivate people, and also to ensure that everybody is always happy in every place they enter. So I give them these stickers so that most people used to stick on their whole cloth, and also their their gadgets. So this keep reminding them of there is always hope. Those who feel depressed sometimes when they read, when they find themselves depressed, when they look to their walls, they see such words, their gadgets, their clothes. So that was one way of motivating them, and rather foundation originate from that. So that is my personal branding. Yeah.
thank you so much for sharing, Benson, and for your time tonight. And you dived into personal branding, covering what needs to go into personal branding, and also sharing, some insights on the helpful techniques to use, and to apply when building a personal brand. Really, it was such a great experience listening to you speak tonight, and I hope that our audience can, leverage the information that you have shared tonight. And we also welcome comments from our audience and follow-up questions to hear your thoughts on this, and your impressions, as well as some of the things that you'd like for us to dive into in our next session. So thank you so much, everyone, and we hope that um, tonight's program has helped you envision how you can map your personal brand. And thank you so much to our community member, Rana, Benson, and volunteer in the conscientization movement. Thank you so much, and thank you.
Yeah, that is one thing